Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalam ala rasulillah, amma ba'du. Then you reach the second Nawaqid in the book of Islam. The Sheikh says, الثاني من جعل بينه وبين الله وسائطا يدعوهم ويسألهم الشفاعة ويتوكل عليهم كفر إجماعا. من جعل بينه وبين الله وسائطا مفعول به يدعوهم ويسألهم الشفاعة. You would put a Dhamma here for reading purposes, right? Because the meme is sakin, the first sheen is sakin, so you'd put a Dhamma there for reading purposes. يسألهم الشفاعة يسألهم الشفاعة مفعول به ويتوكل عليهم كفر إجماعا. Whoever places between him and Allah intercessors, they call on them and they ask them for intercession and they trust in them. He disbelieved ijma'an, according to the consensus. According to the consensus. يعني, meaning, هذا شرك المشركين الأولى. هذا شرك, because it's the khabar. We say هذا is the mubtada, shirk the khabar. Mushrikeen was mushrikun, but because it's mudaf ilayh becomes mushrikeen. هذا شرك المشركين الأولى. Al-ula here meaning the first, right? The first. كانوا يذهبون إلى اللات والعزى. They used to go to Lat and Uzza, saying, that's why the dots are there, saying, Ya Lat, ud'i lana Rabbaka yaghithana. Ya Lat, ud'i. Or it could, no, it'd be Iddi. Ud'i. I don't know. Because of the kasra here, I still think it's Ud'i, because that's what it would be normally. Ud'i, but it could be Id'i. This is to a female, right? Because they made Lat and Uzza feminine. Ud'i lana Rabbaka, because Rabb is the maf'ulun bihi, right? Yaghithana, mansub. Why? Because it's an yaghithana in parentheses, and yaghithana in parentheses here, right? That he should ask your Lord, O Lat, ask your Lord to, yaghithana comes from ghain waw tha, meaning to aid and to assist. To aid and to assist. So ask him to help us. Ask your Lord to help us. Ask him to assist us. So this is what they used to go to Lat and ask. They didn't ask him or her to assist them. They would ask them to ask their Lord to assist them. فَمَنْ جَعَلَ بَيْنَهُ وَبَيْنَ اللَّهِ وَسَائِطًا يَدْعُوهُمْ مِنْ دُونِ اللَّهِ. They call on them other than Allah. هُنَا نَوْعٌ مِنَ الشِّرْكِ أَيْضًا. He says huna here, and you got to remember, this is speech. This isn't something that he wrote. This is his speech that's been transcribed. He says huna here, no on, من الشرك أيضا نوع من الشرك أيضا. No is, we said, type. We had the word أنواع, right? We had أنواع, which is type. I gotta find my tips of my pens, man, and change it or something. أنواع. نوع من الشرك أي. This is a type of shirk also. وهو شرك المشركين الأوائل. And it is وهو, and it is شرك المشركين. Here the ula is referring to the shirk. This is the first shirk of the mushrikeen. Here, shirk al-mushrikeen al-awail. Al-awail is the plural of al-awwal, meaning the first. So here we're talking about the first of the mushrikeen. Here, al-ula, talking about the first shirk, right? Al-awail is talking about the first mushrikeen. يعني هذا شرك المشركين الأولى. This is the original shirk, the first shirk of the mushrikeen. كانوا يذهبون إلى لات والعزى. يا لات أدعي لنا ربك يغيثنا. O Lat, call on your Lord for us and to assist us. فمن جعل بينه وبين الله وسائطا. So whoever puts between him and Allah intercessors. يدعوهم من دون الله. He calls on them other than Allah. Or هنا, this, here, هنا, here. نوع من الشرك أيضا. It's a type of shirk also. وهو شرك المشركين الأوائل. And it's the shirk of the first or original mushrikeen. وحكمهما, and their ruling, their two ruling. Huma is two. Where do we get two from? What do we mean? Hukmuhuma. Meaning this shirk, as well as the shirk in the first naqid. Fi ibadatillah. Wa hukmuhuma. And the ruling of them both. Meaning, الشرك في عبادة الله ومن جعل بينه وبين الله وسائط. This is the huma, this is the two. And the ruling of them two, the what? Siwa. Siwa'un, meaning the same. From like the word mustawi or mustawa, meaning to be level. Right? To be level and even. هل يستوي الذين يعلمون والذين لا يعلمون. Are they equal? Those who know and those who don't know. Right? Siwa meaning equal. وحكمهما meaning the ruling of the one who does shirk in ibadah and the ruling in the one who places an intercessor between him and Allah. Siwa is the same. من ناحية هبوط الأعمال والتخليد في النار والعياذ بالله. من ناحية, from the angle, and the plural of nahiya is nawahi. Just in case it comes up for us in the future. Nawahi. Min nahiya, from the angle, from the point of view, hubut al-a'mal, of the actions being wiped out or made null and void. Habata, to be made null and void, to be wiped out. وَالتَّخْلِيدِ فِي النَّارِ, from khallada, to remain or be somewhere forever. فِي النَّارِ, in the hellfire. تَخْلِيد فِي النَّارِ, in eternity or forever, however you want to translate it. فِي النَّارِ, in the hellfire. وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ. Any questions?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
I'll tell you.
All that, that's the question you had? MashaAllah.
I've been itching the ass. I'll let you go.
MashaAllah. Any other questions, Abdullah?
لا نعم نعم. You said now, and then or no, that's what you said.
No on. No on.
No, no on.
No.
So that's fata on the no, on the no.
Fat on the noon, sukoon on the wow.
No.
No. No on min a shirk.
No shirk. No shirky.
نعم. اقرأ لنا يا أبا طاهر.
الثاني من جعل بينه وبين الله وسائط يدعوهم ويسألهم شفاء ويتوكل عليهم كفر إجماعا. يعني هذا الشرك المشركين الأولى كانوا يذهبون إلى اللات والعزى. يا لات ادعي لنا ربك يغيثنا. فمن جعل بينه وبين الله وسائط يدعوهم من دون الله هن نوع من الشرك أيضا، وهو الشرك المشركين الأوائل، وحكمهما سواء من ناحية هبوط الأعمال وتقليد في النار وعياذ بالله.
عبد الله.
الثاني من جعل بينه وبين الله وسائط يدعوهم ويسألهم الشفاعة. Yeah, that's right. ويتوكل عليهم كفر إجماع. يعني هذا شرك المشركين الأولى كانوا يذهبون إلى التل or let.
Lat, I don't know.
Okay.
Is it mamnu min as-sarf? I would say it's probably not. It's not. Even if lat is mamnu min as-sarf, then you would say lati, because here's a rule.
Okay.
For instance, we have the word masajid, right? Masajid, do masajid. If it becomes majroor, it's masajid. It's mamnu' min as-sarf, right? But if I add an alif lam to a word which is mamnu' min as-sarf, it now is able to take the sarf. So because of that, al-lat has that alif lam on it. So Allah knows best. I think it would take ila-lati. Wal-uzza, in uzza, due to the alif maksura, it's going to prevent the sign of jar being shown, but it would be majroor even if you don't see it because of alif maksura.
Lati wal uzza. Okay. Ya lat ut'i lana rabbaka yathana. فمن جعل بينه وبين الله وسائته يدعوهم من دون الله
من دوني.
or
من.
okay, yeah. من دون الله هنا نوع من الشرك أيضا وهو شرك المشركين الأوائل وحكمهما سواء من ناحية هبوط الأعمال والتقليد في النار والعياذ بالله.
نعم. طيب. الثالث من لم يكفر المشركين أو شك في كفرهم أو صحح مذهبهم كفر. الثالث من لم يكفر مجزوم يكفر. That's supposed to be a shadda there. يكفر المشركين أو شك. That's a shadda again. شك في كفرهم أو صحح. This is a shadda here. صحح مذهبهم مفعول به منسوب كفر. من لم يكفر المشركين. كفر يكفر, to declare them to be a kafir. Whoever doesn't declare the mushrikeen to be kuffar. أو شك في كفرهم, or he doubts, he has doubts about their kufr. أو صحح مذهبهم, or he authenticates their way, their madhab. Kafara. So, we're talking about someone who says that all the religions are like the spokes on a wheel, they all lead to the center and they all get to the same thing. No, this is making their way authentic, right? This is not correct. Oh, sahhaha madhabahum. Say no, they're right. They're from the monotheistic religions, like this. The Shaykh says, التكفير, which is to declare someone a kafir, لا يخلو from kha lam waw, meaning to be empty or vacant. And it'll be clear, we're not going to translate it like that, but in general that's what it means. Kha lam waw, to be empty or vacant. You figure out how to make that word in a minute, right? You figure out what it could be in a more prettier language in a minute. Imma is either. Imma is either. Imma and yakuna after an. Made it mansoob. Imma and yakuna bil awsaf. Right? Awsaf is the plural of wasf, which is description, right? Attributes, like the word sifa and sifat of Allah. Wasf is attributes or descriptions. التكفير لا يخلو إما أن يكون بالأوصاف. It's either going to be with descriptions or attributes. أو الفعل. أو الفعلي after the bat, right? It's still controlled by the bat. Or by actions, or an action by بالأوصاف, by descriptions or attributes. أو الفعلي, or an action. هذا قسم الأول. هذا قسم الأول. This is the first قسم. قسم is, we're going to say, could be category or section. Category is probably better here, right? A section or category or division. It could be division as well, right? This is the first division or the first category. أو يكون, because we still go back to this end, right? أو يكون التكفير بالعين. Or it is a takfir, declaring someone to be a kafir, بالعين. Al-ain, as we said, it has lots of different meanings. But here, it means the individual. Ainu shay is the exact thing of it. You know, like we're talking about the ain of something is it's the thing itself, right? Ainu shay is the thing itself. So you either at-takfir lam yakhlu is not void or empty of imma an yakuna bil awsaf. It's either going to be with descriptions or attributes or al fi'l, or an action or an action. هذا قسم الأول, and this is the first category, first division. أو يكون التكفير بالعين, or the takfir will be with the ain, with for the individual, right? So basically, when it says a takfir la yakhlu, meaning it's not going to be empty, it's not going to be void, meaning basically it's not going to be outside of this or that, right? It's not going to be empty of this or of that, meaning it's going to be only these two things. It's only going to have these two ways. You're going to make takfir by descriptions or actions, or by of the individual. And he's going to explain right now what he means. He says, at-takfir bil-wasf, declaring someone a disbeliever, bil-wasf, the singular of awsaf, with a description, with an attribute, or al-fi'l, or an action. And it's as if you say, he's got like this in quotations, but as we said, this is his speech. من جر منه ذلك الفعل وهو مكفر. Men, whoever, jara, like we said, to run, meaning here, whoever it comes from him, it runs from him, it flows from him. Minhu, whoever it comes from him or flows from him. Min jarra minhu, ذلك الفعل, that action, right? وهو مكفر, and it is mukaffir. Mukaffir meaning it is something which requires takfir, something which makes one a kafir. وهو مكفر, right? And it is something which makes them a disbeliever. يكفر بالفعل أو والوصف. يكفر بالفعل والوصف. Then he is declared a disbeliever بالفعل والوصف, with an action or a description. Here's the clarification if that's not clear yet. Method. And yuqal. For example, that he says, yuqala, after an. Man halafa bi ghayrillah. Man halafa, whoever swears, whoever makes an oath, bi ghayrillah, with other than Allah, faqad kafara, then he has disbelieved. So this is takfir bil wasf or bil fi'l. Man halafa bi ghayrillah, whoever swears an oath by other than Allah, faqad kafara, then he has disbelieved. This is bil fi'l. This is bil fi'l because it's an action. Man halafa bi ghayrillah faqad kafara, whoever swears by other than Allah is disbelieved. وَنَقُولُ, and we say, Man taraka salat faqad kafara. Man taraka as-salata. Taraka what? Salat maf'ulun bihi mansub. Man taraka salata faqad kafara. Whoever abandoned salat, he disbelieved. This would be another fi'l because he abandoned it, right? This is the opposite of fi'l. This is the absence of the fi'l that's required, but it's an action. وَمَنْ أَنْكَرَ الْمَلَائِكَةِ, whoever ankara, we said this before from noon, kaf, ra. We talked about someone making inkar on someone. Whoever denies, right? Al-malaika, ankara al-malaikata, al-malaikata, maf'ulun bihi, mansub. Faqad kafara, right? Then he has disbelieved. هذا التكفير بالوصف. This is a takfir بالوصف, with description, by description, وبالفعل, and by action. من ذبح لغير الله فقد كفر, and whoever slaughters for other than Allah, then he has disbelieved. القسم الثاني يكفر بالعين. You declare the individual to be a disbeliever. وهو تكفير الشخص, and it is the declaring the kufr of a person, a shakhs. Shakhs is like an individual, a person. Shakhs is a person. That's the best probably translation for shakhs, person. Sheen, ra, sad. Whoever declares a person to be a disbeliever. Alladhi amamak, who is or which is amamak. Amam means in front of. Amamaka means he's in front of you. So for instance, right now, we're talking about whoever doesn't believe in the angels, he's a disbeliever. But no one in this group believes or denies that. Whoever abandons the salat is a disbeliever. But none of us abandon salat. Whoever swears by other than Allah is a disbeliever. But none of us swear by other than Allah. So we're making takfir of people bil wasf, bil fail, with descriptions, with actions. But if there was an individual in front of us, and we said, this person doesn't pray, this person swears by other than Allah, this person denies the angels, right? Oh, nataqa, right? Takfir al-shakhsi alladhi amamak. Oh, nataqa bi tilka al-kalima. Oh, nataqa. نطق بتلك الكلمة. نطق meaning to pronounce, to say. So basically he said those words, right? He said those words. بتلك الكلمة. He said those words. He said, I don't believe. So now, as I said, we're in this room and we're talking about someone abandons salat, but none of us do it. Talking about someone denies the angels, none of us do it. Talking about someone swears by other Allah, no one does it. But we know, for instance, there's a person, and we all know that person, and he does it. Stephen Hawking is an example, right? Stephen Hawking, he denied the hereafter, right? He denied that there was a God. Right? Now we're talking about an individual. He's not amamana, he's not in front of us, but nataqa bitilka al-kalima, but he spoke with those words. O fa'ala dhalika al-fi'l, or he did that action. So now this is the difference. We're talking in general and specific. In general, bil wasf wal fi'l. In specific, bil ayn, the one who is in front of us. Is it clear so far?
No.
Any questions so far?
So fa'al, I guess in this sense is like did, huh, an action.
Yeah. Fa'ala is to do. O fa'ala dhalika al-fi'l, whoever did that doing, whoever did that act, whoever acted that action. But you would say whoever did that action in English. ومنهج أهل السنة ومنهج أهل السنة والجماعة, right? التكفير بالفعل أو الوصف is to declare someone to be a disbeliever by an action or a description. وَأَمَّا تَكْفِيرٌ بِالْعَيْنِ, أَمَّا, as we said, is as for. وَأَمَّا التَّكْفِيرُ بِالْعَيْنِ, as for declaring someone to be an individual to be a disbeliever. فلا يكون إلا بعد إقامة الحجة عليه. فلا يكون, then that does not happen basically. فلا يكون, that won't be. إلا, except بعد, after إقامة الحجة عليه. Except after establishing the iqama is to establish, like iqamat salat, right? The establishment of the salat. Except after establishing the hujjah, except after establishing the proof, the evidence, alayhi, upon him. لأن كل ذنب, this should be a dhal, not a dad. This should be a dhal. And Allah knows best. Yeah. لكل ذانب حتى توت العقوبة لابد منه. I wish I could find this audio real quick. I don't know if I can.
Well, another thing too, when you saying like bil ain, is that like a with a kesser?
Bil ain, no, it's a fatah on the ain.
I know the ain, but the bah.
Yeah, bil ain. No. Takfir bil wasf with takfir bil takfir bil wasf with takfir bil ain.
Okay, because the bah got a alif behind it.
I know, but that's because you did, this is al-ain. And then you added the ba for the...
Okay, all right. I was wondering about that.
Give me a
Okay.
second. Let me listen to what he says, Rick.
الشرك الأول بأقوالهم أو صحح مذهبهم كفر. التكفير لا يخلو إما أن يكون بالأوصاف أو الفعل، هذا القسم الأول، أو يكون التكفير بالعين. التكفير بالوصف أو الفعل من جرى منه ذلك الفعل وهو مكفر يكفر بالفعل والوصف، مثل أن يقال من حلف بغير الله فقد كفر، ونقول من ترك الصلاة فقد كفر، ومن أنكر الملائكة فقد كفر. هذا التكفير بالوصف وبالفعل. بالفعل من ذبح لغير الله فقد كفر. القسم الثاني تكفير بالعين، هو تكفير الشخص الذي أمامك، أو نطق بتلك الكلمة أو فعل ذلك الفعل. منهج أهل السنة والجماعة في التكفير بالفعل أو الوصف. وأما التكفير بالعين فلا يكون إلا بعد إقامة الحجة، لأن كل ذنب حتى نوقع عليه العقوبة قد يكون فيه، فلا بد فيه من توفر الشروط وانتفاء الموانع.
No.
فمن
He says then with a thal. Because we're talking about a sin, and I can't even find out what bad noon ba. I can't even find any word that means that. So it should be then. Right? Meaning kulla dhanbin, like every sin. Right? Every sin. حتى توقع عليه العقوبة. Right? Hatta, here it means until, or the word means until. But here I think it really means before. And you'll see why, right? توقع عليه العقوبة. Right? وقع, wow, off, ain, meaning to fall on that person. For something to fall on them. Here meaning to take place. وقع عليه العقوبة. For the punishment to take place on him, to fall on him, to actually be applied to him. Right? That's why we're talking about a dhanb, a sin. So a person does a sin, لأن كل ذنب حتى توقع عليه العقوبة. لا بد. لا بد is a phrase, it means no doubt. Right? No doubt. لا بد. No doubt. من توفر الشروط, from wafara, meaning to fulfill, right? To fulfill or to carry out. توفر الشروط, توفر الشروط, or توفيري, yeah, because of the min. No doubt from carrying out the conditions, the plural of shart, condition. No doubt you must fulfill the conditions. وانتفاء الموانع. This is from noon, fa, ya. Intifa means and to remove. Intifa means to remove. Al-mawani', the plural of mani', meaning obstacle or preventative measures. So if I just say it real quick and then we read it again, I just say the general meaning without sticking to his exact words, and then we could read it again. That before we can establish for every sin, before we can carry out the punishment for that sin, that person must fulfill all the conditions and he must have no obstacles or nothing preventing him for instance, what are the conditions? That he be sane, for example. A person doesn't make salat, but he's not sane. He's majnoon, he's crazy. Okay, he's 40 years old, he's not praying, but he's majnoon, he's crazy, he doesn't have to pray. Right? So therefore, he doesn't have to fulfill the conditions. Or intifa al-mawani. This person's 40, he hasn't prayed in 6 days, he ain't got out of his bed in 6 days. Yeah, but he's in a coma for 6 days. Right? So he has something preventing him from praying. Right? So therefore, you have to fulfill the conditions and you have to remove the preventative things before you can establish the punishment, the uquba upon him. So the minhaj of Ahl Sunnah, minhaj of Ahl Sunnati wal Jama'ati at-takfir bil-fi'l or bil-wasf. The minhaj, the methodology of Ahl Sunnah is to make takfir of someone with the action or a description, meaning in general. We do it in general, not specifically. وَأَمَّا تَكْفِيرُ بِالْعَيْنِ. As for the specific takfir, the takfir of the individual, فَلَا يَكُونُ إِلَّا بَعْدَ إِقَامَةِ الْحُجَّةِ عَلَيْهِ. It doesn't happen except after establishing the evidence upon him. لِأَنَّ كُلَّ ذَنْبٍ. Because every sin, حَتَّى تَوَقَّعَ عَلَيْهِ الْعُقُوبَةِ. Until the punishment is placed on him, or established on him, or given to him, the punishment, right? La bud min tawfir ash-shurut. La bud min tawfir ash-shurut. No doubt you must provide and bring forth and fulfill the conditions, and to remove the preventative measures. Clear?
No.
Before we move on, let's read that much because we're going to the next page, inshallah. Abu Tahir.
الثالث من لم يكافر المشركين أو شك في كفرهم أو صحح مذهبهم كافر. التكفير لا يخلو إما أن يكون بالأوصاف أو فعل أو الفعل. هذا القسم أول. أو يكون التكفير بالعين. التكفير بالوصف أو فعل أو الفعل من جرى منه ذلك الفعل وهو مكفر. يكفر بالفعل والوصف. مثل أن يقال من حلف بغير الله فقد كفر، ونقول من ترك الصلاة فقد كفر، ومن أكره الملائكة فقد كفر. هذا التكفير بالوصف. ومن ذبح لغير الله فقد كفر. القسم الثاني يكفر بالعين، وهو القسم الثاني يكفر بالعين، وهو تكفير الشخص الذي أمامك أو نطق بتلك الكلمة أو فعل ذلك الفعل أو فعل ذلك الفعل. ومنهج أهل السنة والجماعة التكفير بالفعل أو الوصف. وأما التكفير بالعين فلا يكون إلا بعد إقامة الحجة عليه، لأن كل ذنب حتى توقع عليه العقوبة لا بد من توفير الشروط
Tawaffuri. I said it right the first time, then the second time I came back and second guessed myself. Tawaffuri. Ta maftuha, waw maftuha, fa بالضمة and the shadda. توفري الشروط.
نعم توفر الشروط وانتفاء الموانع.
نعم. عبد الله.
So it's shadda that fa.
نعم.
Tawaffuri.
توفري.
Furi.
نعم.
Oh, tawaffuri. Okay. الثالث من لم يكفر المشركين أو شك في كفرهم
كفرهم.
Yes. أو صحح مذهبهم كفر. Okay. Takfir, is this ru or re? Because I heard him say re. I thought you said ru.
What is it? A takfiru?
Okay. Okay. التكفير لا يخلو بما أن يكون بالأوصاف أو الفعل. هذا القسم الفعل. القسم الأول أو يكون التكفير بالعين. التكفير بالوصف أو الفعل. من جرى منه ذلك
منه عبد الله منه not منه.
منه.
No. Pronouns don't change. Right?
Okay. منه ذلك الفعل وهو مكفر. يكفر بالفعل والوصف مثل أن يقال من كفر بغير الله.
من حلف.
من
حلف.
Okay. من حلف. What did I say?
I thought you said kafara, but go ahead.
Oh, I may, okay. من حلف بغير الله فقد كفر. ونقول من ترك الصلاة فقد كفر. ومن أنكر الملائكة فقد كفر. هذا التكفير بالوصف بالفعل. من ذهب لغير الله
ذبح. نعم.
من ذبح لغير الله فقد كفر. القسم الثاني يكفر بالعين وهو
يكفر with a sukun, a kasra on that back. Kasra on that back.
Oh, okay. يكفر. I missed that. يكفر بالعين وهو تكفير الشخص الذي أمامك أو نطق بتلك الكلمة فعل ذلك الفعل ومنهج right منهج
نعم ومنهج أهل السنة
okay ومنهج أهل السنة والجماعة التكفير بالفعل
الوصف
الوصف وأما التكفير بالعين فلا يكون إلا بعد إقامة الحجة عليه لأن كل ذنب حتى ووقع عليه العقوبة
نعم
لابد من توفر الشروط وارتفاع الموانع.
طيب. Let me see what we got here left. There's
The
two.
last line on that page.
Yeah, but we still got like a whole nother page left. We'll just leave that for the next tomorrow or something, inshallah.
Inshallah.
If it was only a couple lines, we'll finish it. But since we got a whole page left, we'll add that to that page, inshallah. Well, I hope you guys are, hope it's becoming clearer. Definitely, guys, reading better. You're reading without vowels most of the time, right? Even if you're writing down or something on your paper, you're still reading without vowels. And if you practice enough times, you'll be able to look it out your paper and just read it directly from the PDF without vowels. And
Inshallah.
the important thing is now you're reading the book of the Sheikh, you're reading books of the Mashayikh and you're understanding them, and that's the whole goal, inshallah. Inshallah. See brothers and sisters tomorrow, inshallah ta'ala.
Inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.